So, Xigbar's gonna tell us about the mice.
Yes, total bonus footage. I need to hear like the entire story this time.
Why?
Because that's really, really interesting and freaking weird.
And you said you'd tell us, so
Yeah.
tell it.
There's not really much to tell.
Oh, come on. You gotta make it like fantastic and like sound like this horror story because I totally know that you can do it.
Come on, Ziggy.
Please?
Alright. Okay, so Alexis and I went on a camping trip a while back. And before we did, I actually fed and watered my mice and everything. I had 2 mice. 2 girl mice. One was named Olivia. She was gray. The other one was Melanie. She was black. They got along perfectly. I mean, they were probably litter mates and whatnot. So we went camping. We come back. I thought everything was fine with them. We saw Olivia a lot and haven't seen Melanie for a while. And then one morning, there's like no activity in the cage whatsoever. Turns out Olivia died. And when we found Olivia's body, we couldn't find Melanie anywhere. So we thought she escaped or something. And then we were digging around in the bedding and we found nothing but a pile of black fluff, a tail, and a foot.
Oh my god!
So Olivia died from cannibalism.
Well, maybe the other one died first and then she ate the other one and then she was just like, oh god, what have I done? Bleh. I don't know. Or she killed herself. I don't know.
I don't think she really
It was
is
like a
that.
Romeo and Juliet lesbian mice.
Didn't you have rats that did the same thing?
I did. I had 2 girl rats. They used to be lab rats,
What
so
is-
I think they have
What
an
is this
excuse.
girl rodents?
Maybe they're like girl praying mantises.
That's creepy.
I don't know. In my animal's defense, they were in a laboratory setting before I got them.
In my rodent's defense, I was their owner.
Nice names though, Olivia and Melanie.
Yep.
My rats' names were Sandra D and Margie.
Lovely.
Because
not really
Margie was the
frumpy
fat one.
names.
Well, Margie's kind of a frumpy name, and she was kind of tubby and frumpy acting, so I named her Margie. And Sandra D was the name that the first one came with from Greece. I can't remember what the name the second one had, so I just renamed it Margie. Anyway, I had them, and I came home from missions all the time, and I was like, hi girls, and they were always like, ah, put the paws up on the cage, and it was cute. And then, came home one day, I was like, hi girls, and only Margie put her paws up on the cage, and she was like, mee, and she left red streaks, and I was like, what the fuck? They're both white lab rats, by the way. So I go over there, and she's got red all over her face, all over her arms and paws, like all over her chest, and I was like, what the fuck? Go over there, I see Sandra D laying in the back of the cage, but she's got this giant hole in her side, like right below her ribs, and there was nothing in it. She was a hollow husk of rat. Like, there was bones and skin and fur, but there was no organs on the inside,
She was like already ready for taxidermy.
pretty much.
Why
Like, it
didn't
was
you
ridiculous.
taxidermy her?
Because I don't taxidermy things.
That's weird.
But yeah, so Margie ate Sandra D, and I was like, ah. And then about a week later, Margie started going nuts and started doing the whole thing like this. And then she started bleeding profusely from her anus, and then she died in my hands.
Ew, that's gross.
She
dude.
probably died of cannibalism too. Way to go on rodents that eat each other.
So
never
she
heard
died
of
in
that
your
one.
hands. So she was bleeding out the ass in your hands.
I'm dedicated to my pets. I love and take care of them.
Good for you.
Hey, you picked up a cat on the side of the road one time that was like bleeding out its butt and everything,
It had its,
and moved
like,
it. And its
Roof of
mouth
the
was all
mouth
messed
all
up.
the way out here.
Yeah, well, I wasn't touching its ass.
That's
I was
true.
holding a rat. How do you not touch its butt?
But
when
you
it's in
walked
your
around with like
hands?
dead cat hands for like 20 minutes.
So
That was gross.
I do a lot of weird shit. So what?
That's true.
A lot of nasty shit. Probably dead from food poisoning by now.
You should be.
But I'm not because I've got an iron stomach.
The green bits on the Canadian bacon didn't hurt me none.
Dude, I ate that same Canadian bacon and I'm fine
I
too.
mean, you just cook it off. It doesn't really.
Yeah, microwaved it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was a little stale and
Hard to
kind
like
of crunchy.
break.
That Canadian bacon, when it hit the floor, kind of clattered when it hit. But you know,
It's like the
It's okay.
plastic children's food you get in like the.
Like dehydrated fruit.
yeah, like it like falls on your. And you're like, what is that? Was that actually a chunk of meat at some point? Oh my god, that's terrible. That's okay. I will say this, I've totally eaten donuts out of the garbage too. It's happened. They were on top. And I knew the person who threw them away. They weren't touching other garbage, they were still in the box. And I've eaten things off the floor too.
I remember the candy corn I ate out of your guys' last apartment.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
messed up.
And then every time that I go through like boxes of stuff and I find old candy, me and Xigbar both eat it.
Yep.
Every time. Last time I found this gummy that I think was orange at one point, but it was brown and it was like rock hard and it like clattered. I'm sure that if it would have been like in the freezer or something, it probably would have shattered if I threw it on the floor. And I licked it and I'm like, yep, that's orange. It was gross. I had to throw it away though because I couldn't chew it. It was kind of a waste. I think it probably been sitting in there for a few years.
So?
I couldn't eat it. I couldn't even chew it.
Oh, come on.
Until you suck on it.
That's what she said. Oh, come on.
Sorry.
So anyways, so there's your bonus stuff, I guess. Us talking about pets eating things and us eating weird things. Okay.
Oh, don't forget about the 3-week-old hamburger.
Oh yeah, that
Whopper.
Whopper that was in like Sayus' pocket for like 3 weeks, and then you both ate it. But
The
you were the only
fucker
one
couldn't
who could
even finish it, but I did. And then he threw his away. That was a waste of food. I would have eaten both halves. Fucker.
That
There is
thing.
something wrong with
I
your taste
remember.
buds.
I remember the smell when
It
you
tasted
microwaved
just
it.
fine.
When you guys microwaved it, it smelled like nasty, sick, hot, like roadkill that had been like on the road for a few days and like run over by several semis and picked at by some coyotes and then like peed on by a cat or something. It was freaking gross smelling.
It was
I
really
wanted to
descriptive.
barf. I know, I'm amazing at describing things.
I'd
because
probably eat
that
roadkill
thing-
like that anyway.
that thing, you would eat it with cat pee on it? That's lovely.
Well, if you cook it, it doesn't matter.
Oh, come on. What, add some extra flavor?
Why
Ugh,
not?
gross. Yeah, but seriously,
You're
that
from the
thing
South.
stunk so
I could
bad
be.
that when they were cooking it, like the first minute into cooking it, I wanted to hurl. I had to leave the room and like lock myself in my room and like bury my face in a pillow because it smelled that bad. Anyways, I think that I'm done talking about the nasty Whopper.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.